Happy Wednesday, Crestwood. Hope you guys are having a great day. Hope you enjoyed your holiday break. Hope it was restful and restorative for you. It certainly was for me. Amy and I were able to go on our honeymoon, which we enjoyed very much. Very difficult to leave the warm weather to come back here to Lexington, but it's always good to come home. And I'm honored to provide you this devotional for this January 5th on Wednesday. So I'm thinking today, as we move into this new year, I'm thinking about worry. My devotional a few days ago that I did was on worry and the things we worry about. And I thought, man, what don't we worry about these days? There is so much that is on our minds, on our hearts, that is clogging up our souls, things that give us good reason to worry. And so I've been thinking about that and thinking about what Paul says about what we're supposed to do with that. You know, he says in Philippians 4, he says, do not worry about anything. I want to stop right there and be like, come on, Paul. Have you seen the world these days? Have you seen our lives? Have you seen the things we have to deal with? Maybe for you, a couple thousand years ago, there wasn't much to worry about. There's a lot to worry about right now. And yet I think Paul's instructions are still helpful to us, because whether we're worrying 2,000 years ago or worrying in 2022, his advice is instructive. He says this, do not worry about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. So Paul gives a couple different things we're supposed to do there when we're worrying about something. First of all, in every situation where we worry, we're supposed to pray. We're supposed to pray to God about our worry, but it's not just prayer, it's prayer and petition, or prayer and supplication. So that means when we petition for something, we're asking for something specific. So Paul says, look, if you're worrying about something, ask God for what you need. Go to God directly in prayer. Don't worry about being selfish or self-centered. Say, look, God, I am worrying right now. I need this from you. I need assurance. I need to know that you are present with me. I need to know that this thing I'm worrying about is going to be okay. So the first thing Paul says to do when you're worrying is pray and ask God for what you need. And then he says, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. And I think that's really fascinating, because when I'm worried, I'm usually not thankful. Those things seem almost antithetical in some ways. When I'm worried, I'm so consumed with fear. I'm so consumed with anxiety. I'm not giving thanks in those moments. And so what I think Paul is doing is he's providing a sort of a countermeasure there, a corrective to our worry. Because if we stop and we take a moment to sort of take inventory of the things we are thankful for, I wonder if the things we're worrying about lessen or decrease in priority or importance. If the big scary monster gets a lot smaller when we realize, yeah, I may be worried about this, but I am thankful for these other 10 things. And when I put my worry in that context, it doesn't seem as big. There is so much to be thankful for in all times. And it's that spirit of thanksgiving. It's that attitude of being grateful to God for what we have and the blessings we have, which puts that sense of worry in perspective. You know, oftentimes the things we worry about never come to fruition. It's wasted energy. Jesus says in Matthew's gospel, only worry about today. Don't worry about tomorrow. There's enough to worry about today. So I wonder what would happen if we only worried about what we need to worry about today, if we went to God with prayer and petition, and if we stopped to take inventory of the things we're thankful for, how that would transform our worry and change our worry. Paul says, you know, when you do those things, present your request to God. And then he says this, and the peace of Christ, which passes all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. So this peace that we have when we focus on the things we're thankful for, that brings us a sense of peace. We don't understand it. It passes all of our understanding, but it guards our hearts and minds. It doesn't fill our hearts and minds. It guards our hearts and minds. It becomes the bulwark, the fortress that keeps the worry from infiltrating our minds and our hearts. When we are thankful, when we are in communication with God through prayer, when we are thankful for what we have, when we let God's peace come in, there's a lot less to worry about. So whatever you're worrying about today, Crestwood, I want to pray peace for you. I want to pray that God's peace fills your heart, that you clear out the worry that is clogging up your soul, and you allow space for God's peace to come in. Because when God's peace comes in and provides that protection, those worries seem to get a lot smaller. Look, there's always something to worry about, but there is so much more to be thankful for. I'm thankful for you, Crestwood. God bless.